It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.
Okay, so you've seen the title and you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about why restaurants can't keep staff, why nobody wants to work in restaurants, and everybody wants to turn around and blame the restaurants. I'm going to tell you exactly why. I've been in this business almost, 40 years now. 40 years this year, I have been in the restaurant industry. It's always been my main job. I have been a chef in a lot of good places. I've been a fry cook in a lot of bad places. I've pretty much been around the block. And I can tell you from both sides what it's like to work in a restaurant and what it's like to eat in a restaurant. And I've seen the evolution over the past 40 years of what has changed. And I'm totally doing this off the cuff. But after I'm done with my rant, stick around because I'm also going to put some horror stories up of some of the experiences I've had in restaurants of the past. Now, I'm not going to badmouth the place I'm working at right now because I actually really enjoy cooking for those people. It's not what I used to do. It's a little downsized, but I'm cool with it. I'm a part-time chef at a local restaurant here. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you might know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm not bad mouthing the place I work at right now. Okay. The reason restaurants can't get good staff, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. I'm going to blame the boomers. I'm Gen X. I'm Gen X. If you ever noticed Generation X, if you ever paid attention, Generation X, we just sat back and just let the world burn because we know there's nothing we can do about it. Boomers, on the other hand, whole time growing up, oh, you're going to end up flipping burgers at McDonald's if you keep that up. All they did was put down the restaurant industry and the people that work there, which bred into the next generation that it's bad to work in a restaurant. It means you're a loser. Well, I'm here to tell you, 39 years later, it doesn't make you a loser. Working in restaurants my entire life helped me pay for my house, my cars, my kids' education, everything I have today. I have a very modest life. I'm not a poor boy. I have what I need. I'm very happy. I have a great wife. She has the same philosophy. We get along great. Our bills are paid. We're good. I still work in a restaurant part-time. I did try to retire a few years ago where I started my eBay store, Jenner Custom Toys. And that's been very good to me too. I've always done something on the side. But the restaurant industry has been really good to me. Now, with that said, let's talk about why restaurants can't find good staffing now in 2023. A lot of it is because parents always put down people working in restaurants. Oh, you're going to be a waitress the rest of your life. You're going to flip burgers the rest of your life. Let me tell you something. It ain't about flipping burgers. It ain't about just waiting tables. It's a lifestyle. It is a complete lifestyle. And it's a whole other type of people that can handle the restaurant industry. Chefs, waitresses, managers, bartenders, same thing. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be a chef in your lifetime. Let me say that again. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be a chef or a bartender, a waitress, bar manager, restaurant manager, hotel manager. There's nothing wrong with that career. Older generation drilled it into people's heads they should be ashamed to work there, or that's a job for a 16-year-old. Sure, some of those jobs are. Some of them are. You turn 16, 18 years old, start working in the kitchen for your first job, put yourself through school. That's how I was raised. That's what I believe. You got to take the little jobs and build up. I do agree with that. But don't ever be ashamed. Ever. You're out there working. You're out there making money. I don't care if you're bussing tables. I don't care if you're washing dishes. I don't care what you're doing. Everybody in this industry is a god in my mind. A restaurant can't function without a bus person. A restaurant can't function without a waitress. A restaurant can't function without a bartender. I'm sitting off a bar. A restaurant cannot function without a line cook. So never ever be ashamed of working in a restaurant. And if that's what you want to do the rest of your life, I'm here to tell you it works. Yeah, I'm on a little rant. Now, people are like, oh, these kids want too much money. These kids, they don't want to work. Because you can't say nothing to them. You can't discipline them. You can't yell at them. They go home, they tell mommy and daddy, and oh, you yelled at my son, you yelled at my daughter. They don't want to work. They weren't raised with work ethic. I think the last generation that had work ethic would be us, Gen X. My kids have work ethic because I raised them to be so. I have 2 strong daughters. One doesn't even talk to me, but you know what? She's rocking life. She's rocking life. She's out there doing what she has to do to pay her bills. And nothing weird either, so get your mind out of the gutter. She's a hell of a painter. She gets to go around the entire city of Pittsburgh and paint these the storefronts during the holidays. She's the one that paints those pictures and murals and stuff like that, and she makes bank on that, and she loves it. And I'm glad. I'm glad she loves it. I'm glad she's doing something she loves. Just like I'm doing something I love every time I cook at the restaurant I'm working at now. So, yeah. The reason kids don't want to work in restaurants nowadays is because the adults shame them into thinking it's a shitty job. It's something that, oh no, you can't do that. How? You got to start working somewhere. My first job was a paper route. Yeah. Little Brucey on a bike. Throwing the papers. Yeah, that was my first job. I can't remember how old I was. I was just a little kid. My first real job was in a restaurant, little tiny restaurant called Soup and Sandwich. I was 16, and back then a 16-year-old was allowed to run the grill and everything like that. I think at least in Pennsylvania you have to be 18 now, but that's a long time ago. I mean, we didn't just cook over open fires and go, like cavemen. I learned a lot from that dude, the owner. That's when I learned how to make soups. I'm really good at making soups. I'm really good at what I do. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud that I can cook. I'm proud that you can tell me, hey, we got a party at 300 no one told you about. Oh, wonderful. How much time do I have? 2 hours? Ah, shit. Boom. Get it done. I'm proud that I have that skill, that I can do that. Now, another reason people don't want to work there, the people that are at restaurants, the way they treat them now. Years ago, the customer was always right. Oh, the customer is always right. Customer is always right. It's not that way anymore. The customer is not always right. In fact, the customer can kiss my ass. If they want to come in and be disrespectful to me or any of my employees anywhere, I'll be the first person to stand up and say, no. No. Disrespect is not tolerated. You have to respect those people. Respect the people in food service, retail, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I'm including retail in this too. If I haven't mentioned it before, I'm including retail. Respect those people. Because without them, you got to go home and cook. You got to cook for your own damn family. You sit there and argue because you didn't get your extra sauces at Long John Silver's or whatever. Sit there and belittle the staff. No, it doesn't cut it anymore. It doesn't work. It'll get you thrown out. I personally have no problem throwing a customer out. Ooh, I'm never coming back here anymore. Good. Stay the fuck home. If you're going to come in and disrespect us and all the employees that are busting our tails to make you have a happy meal and you still want to sit there and cry about it, bye. If you disagree with me, then fine. Maybe you're one of the problems. If you go to a restaurant now in 2023, be nice. Oh, you got onions on your salad. Pick them off. Your food, for some reason, is messed up. Okay, send it back. But be polite. Be nice about it. Hey, I'm sorry, these french fries are cold. Can I have another order? Sure, here you go. No problem. It's not about us being assholes. It's just be polite, show some respect. Not like, oh, I come here all the time, and every time I come here, I have to wait 10 minutes for my food. Actually happened just recently. just recently. Oh, I had to wait 10 minutes for my food. I'm not even talking fast food like McDonald's. I'm talking real food like in the place I work at now. Now, you see how busy we are? My checks personally come out average about 15 minutes each. 15 minutes is nothing to wait for a good dinner. Actually, 15 minutes is pretty quick. But you're still going to bitch about it. You know, I'm a human being. I'm a grown-ass man. And I have nothing to lose. I made my stripes. I'm ready to retire, so I can tell the truth. And I will continue to do so. Let's see. Why else can't restaurants find staffing? Like I said, the immediate answer, everybody thinks, oh, money, they're not paying enough. That's a little bit of it. It's a little bit of it. But I also agree if you're brand new and you've never had a job before, you should make minimum wage, prove yourself, and get raises. Now, do the restaurants give you the raises? I don't know. The place I work at does. The last place I worked at did too. But I have worked for a few places that don't want to shell out that money for good workers. So that's going to be on the employer's side of it. I'm still going to stick to the reason of why restaurants can't get good employees is because of the way you, the customer, treat them. Nobody wants to be treated like a dog turd all day long. So don't treat your restaurant employees, your retail employees, anybody that is helping you, treat them with respect. And you'll get the same right back, I guarantee it. All right, that's about the end of my rant. I'm sure there's more I wanted to say, but I start getting angry. So what we're going to do now is going to be fun. I've been working on this for about a month and a half now. Here's some horror stories. Not really horror stories. Here's some helpful tips and secrets from some of the restaurants I've worked at in the past. I think they're kind of interesting. I picked the best of the best. There's like 20 of them, but I picked a few of them and to end this video with. So, you know, my videos always get better toward the end. So, here we go.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.
Hey folks, welcome back to my channel once again. Bruce coming at you. Today we are going to talk about things you didn't know about restaurants and some restaurant horror stories that I personally have witnessed. I have been a cook, chef, ever since I was 16 years old when I worked at my first restaurant, little soup and sandwich place called Soup and Sandwich. And that's 39 years this year that I have been in the cooking industry. I did go to culinary school and all that stuff. I have worked in some really, really nice restaurants under some really good chefs. And I've worked in some really crappy restaurants where we're just flipping burgers and greasy spoons, so to speak. So I'm starting this video today. I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually make, but as these stories pop into my head, I'm going to be shooting short videos explaining the stories. And I don't know, by the end of this, with all the stories I have on my melon up here, you might not want to eat out anymore. Or maybe you do. I don't know. But anyway, we'll get started with the first story as soon as I think of the best one to say right now.
I like them French fried potatoes.
Okay, the first story I'm going to tell you isn't really a story. It's just pretty much just a happening that happens in almost every restaurant I've ever worked at. And it's not disgusting or anything like that. At least I don't think it is. But I feel customers need to learn this lesson. If you order something off the menu, let's say you order a house salad. You want a little side salad before your meal. And it comes to me, you didn't want any onions on it. You said house salad, no onions. And let's say you get one with onions, because 90% of the time, the house salads are already pre-made up. Like, it's normally the waitress's job to make all the salads. She'll make like 9 or 10 and have them in the cooler ready to grab and serve. And you write on it, no onions. Okay. Or she writes on the slip, no onions, you know, and she forgets. And then she brings you your salad, and it's one on one sheet already pre-made, and there's onions in it. Okay, first of all, it's a normal mistake. Second of all, just pick them off. Because what I see people doing all the time is sending it back. I ordered this with no onions. I can't eat onions. Pick them off, you self-entitled loser. Because I'll tell you what we're going to do. It's going to come back to the kitchen. You know what she's going to do? She's going to pick the onions off herself with her long fingernails and dirty hands, fluff up the lettuce a little bit to make it look different, and bring it right back to your dumbass. So do us all a favor. Just pick the onions off. And you can apply that to any other dish you want to. Let's say you get a hamburger that has a tomato on it. You don't want tomatoes. Pick it off. Don't cry about it. Because your waitress and your cook, busy as hell, and don't have time to cater to you. It's not Burger King. That happened in almost every single restaurant I work at. Get over yourselves. That's the moral of this first story.
Reckon they gonna let Mr. Bruce play with sharp objects now.
Okay, next story, or more like of a hint, is for people that think they're getting past the system by ordering French fries with no salt on. Now, like I said, I've worked in a lot of restaurants. Specifically, I'm referring to Kentucky Fried Chicken whenever I was a shift manager down there. And this is years ago. People would order their French fries with no salt, thinking they're going to get fresh French fries right out of the fryer. Then they'd have a little package of salt. You'd see them putting salt on their fries. They do this on purpose, and they still do it today. They think they're getting away with something. It's like, oh, that's going to make sure I get the fresh fries right out of the oil. It doesn't always work that way. I have seen line cooks take the old fries, throw them back in the fryer. They're already salted, throw them back in the fryer and serve them. People didn't know the difference. That's what they do. It sucks, but yeah, that's what they do. Okay, next story. Here's a while later. I call this story the Reebok steak story. I worked in Sandusky, Ohio, in a steakhouse right outside of Cedar Point. Very high volume restaurant. Very high volume restaurant. Back then, I was just a line cook. No big deal. We had to sit down at that line cook, fry cook, broiler cook, expediter. Standard restaurant operation. We're busy as hell one day. Restaurant's packed. We have a line out the door, waiting list, you name it. I mean, it's Cedar Point, so of course, we're going to be busy. Sorry, I have the hiccups. All right, I'm just going to continue anyway, deal with it. Shit. Okay, here we go. So we're all busting our tails. We're all doing the best we can behind the line, trying to, get all this food out and get it right. And somebody orders a well-done steak. All right, no problem. The guy in the I forget his name. This is back in this is back in like 89, 1989. I was just a youngin' back then, but I'll never forget this story. So yeah, this lady orders a well-done steak. All right, no problem. And the guy threw it on the broiler, did his thing, cooked it. I did see it when it went out. It looked fine. It got sent back. She said it wasn't cooked enough. She wanted it well done. It happens. Still no problem. It's okay to send your food back once. He threw it back in the broiler, cooked it a little bit more. It was definitely well done. I had looked at it myself. And he sent it back out. Came back a third time. It's not cooked enough. And the waitress was a real bitch, making a big deal. Say she's throwing a fit. Well, it was well done. I mean, what else do you want? It was a New York strip steak, by the way. And apparently the customer was not happy with it. It wasn't well done. At this point, it was like shoe leather. Man, I mean, come on. I have a big problem with anybody who wants to eat a well-done steak anyway. Well done should be medium rare to medium, period. Anybody eats some more than that, there's something wrong with you. So fine. One last time, he threw it on. He didn't know what else to do. Added a little seasoning to it, which I think we were just using seasoned salt at the time. Sent it back out. It came back again. He was pissed. He's like, what else can I do? That steak was burnt at that point. It was burnt. It wasn't Pittsburgh well done. Which, if you don't know what Pittsburgh well done is burnt on the outside and medium rare in the middle. I saw it. It looked like a piece of shoe leather. He lost his temper, threw it against the wall, stood on it, squishing all the juices out of it because that was their complaint. There shouldn't be any juice in it. He literally stood on it with his nasty ass feet, threw it back on the broiler, heated up again, put it on a plate. And I swear to God, when it was on that plate, I saw it when it went out. You could see in reverse letters on the steak, it said Reebok from the bottom of his shoe. Sent it out. And then, she was happy. She said that was really good and thank you for your patience. She sent it back like 4 times. It went out. It was, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the shingles that are on your roof. Yeah. What the fuck? Seriously. That's this section. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut it right there. And there's plenty of other stories for me to make another video of other horror stories, but I realized how long it was getting, so I'm just gonna cut it right there. Check me out later. I'll definitely do another video, some horror stories. If you like this one, leave a comment. If you're still here for the video, because I know it's kind of long. If you're still here, hey, give me a like, leave a comment, tell me your thoughts. Even better, leave me your horror stories. I would love to hear your horror stories from the restaurant industry or retail. I got a whole other bunch for retail too. I'm probably going to continue and make another video about more stories if y'all like it. Or maybe I'll just do it because it's just kind of what I do. Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you later.
It's just Bruce. He don't bite. Hello.